Greetings, Earth Angels, and welcome back to Earth Angel Activities, where I'm going to be doing a reading for you. But before we get into the reading, I really have been guided to discuss the difference between triggers and gaslighting. So, triggers, I would equate them to being something that is already there, already within you, versus gaslighting, that I see that as being something that is created. So, a trigger. When someone triggers you, they're triggering a memory, be it a good one or a bad one. Typically, the bad memories cause us to feel things that can be quite confusing. And when we feel those things without having dealt with them, we can point fingers and point blame without accepting the opportunity to be there for ourselves. 9 times out of 10, when you explode, you were never heard, and that's all you wanted to start with. And this can be the result of being gaslit, not just being angry, but being gaslit. You have to remember that when somebody is gaslighting you, this is a psychiatric art of manipulation. Okay? When someone is gaslighting you, they are watching you. They are they are ready to cash out on your energy. They know what they're doing. Gaslighting is the art of manipulating you into thinking that you can't rely on your own source of reasoning anymore. Gaslighting is creating a situation out of nothing. Sometimes people who trigger you intentionally, that term gaslighting is oftentimes used in that sense. And I understand it. Believe me, I get it. But oftentimes that is someone who's triggering you. And someone who is intentionally triggering you, either if they're not triggering you for the purpose of helping your soul to evolve, then which we all are ultimately. But if they're triggering you because it's a game and they love to watch your emotions go wild, then that person is usually have some type of psychiatric disorder, and it's not just narcissism. Like, there is a whole spectrum of different psychiatric disorders that would cause someone to rely on manipulation as a source of survival. When it comes to triggers, though, when we're dealing with memories, it's so important for us to take responsibility for the things that we feel instead of projecting it and lashing out. If we don't heal those triggers, we can find ourselves distant from everyone and everything that we love. Gaslighting. When someone is gaslighting you and they're trying to manipulate your reality, you have to decide whether or not that relationship is significant, because at that point, that person is trying to play in your face about how you see your reality. You need to be able to decipher between triggers and gaslighting. Triggers can be a very loving thing. We're going to trigger one another. Intentionally or unintentionally, we're designed to do that so that we can heal ourselves. Being triggered, I often relate it to rubbing your hand over a bruise or a wound or a cut that you didn't realize was there until you touched it. That is very much like what triggers are. Triggers are not what creates the wound. Triggers only point at it. That's it. Gaslighting is manipulation, psychiatric playing with your mind. We're going to ruffle each other's feathers sometimes. But with triggers, it's so important to do your spiritual work. The work is around the triggering. When you are triggered, there's an opportunity in that. There is an opportunity for soul development in that. So when I was asking God, like, what do you tell them as far as how to deal with triggers, I was shown very clearly why meditation keeps coming up in all the readings. So you need to identify the trigger. Okay, so when you're triggered, you feel the emotion, you feel whatever it is. You need to identify what happened, what took place in that moment, in that energy, right? This is reflective, okay? This is reflective when you're thinking back. And then once you get the scenario together, you have to realize that what was triggered in you, especially if it was harmless, you know the difference between someone intentionally trying to hurt your feelings and someone accidentally stepping on your toes. Okay? So you have to identify what happened. And once you have identified what happened, then you can go deeper with that thing. So someone said something about, the way you wear your hair. And it angers you so much because maybe you were picked on as a child about your hair, or maybe you had trouble growing hair, or maybe you didn't understand how to care for your hair, so hair becomes a very triggering topic. And if anyone says anything to you about your hair, you immediately go off. Well, that shows that there needs to be healing in that area. So once you identify the trigger and you identify what happened, then you take it back to childhood. You take it back to something else that happened, some significant event or of trauma that was never healed or discussed. And once you've done that, then you decide whether or not that trigger made you feel angry. Did it make you feel sad? Did it make you feel hopeless? You understand the feeling of the trigger within yourself. You understand it. And once you understand the difference between, okay, well, this made me angry or this made me sad, and really take inventory so you can understand, am I mad or am I sad? Some of the simplest questions are the hardest to answer. How do you feel about that? How does that make you feel? Most people are very confused. So in humility and love, I'm asking you to write down your thoughts and then decide whether or not you were mad, sad, angry. Because a lot of times, I find that sadness and anger are confused all the time through communication and understanding of self. Anger and sadness are so misunderstood and misconstrued all the time. So identify how you actually feel. And then once you've gotten that far, then you're going to decide why. The why is the depth where you decide that this made me feel this way because, and usually it's going to be in your blind spot, because usually we have a guard there. And usually the guard is something egoic. Like, oh, well, I felt that way because he didn't have to say this to me. Or I felt that way because they did this. Or I felt this way because they did that. Usually, those are the egoic things that cover the wound and you can't even see it bleeding there. So, in humility, you have to make an I statement. I feel this way because I don't like people talking about my hair. Okay, that's good. The next step. Why don't you like people talking about your hair? Well, I don't like people talking about my hair because, well, everybody always talks about black girl hair and it makes me feel uncomfortable. Okay, well, that's good. Why does that make you feel uncomfortable? And see, when you go deeper every time, you're going to feel very humble, very ooey gooey if you allow yourself to go there. And as you go there, you're going to feel the weight of the energy fall away from you. And as you practice handling your triggers, you're going to find that you're able to flow through that thought process much quicker. and evolve much quicker. Now, as we all know, some energies are heavier than others, and some events are more traumatic than others. So some events take more. Some events might take actually speaking to a therapist. Some events might take you actually working hand in hand with a shaman. Some events might take you going on a spiritual retreat to start breaking up that traumatic energy. But either way, you must deal with your triggers, especially as an earth angel, because you can't go around pushing everybody away just because something hurts. Okay? So that is a very significant, important part of the message that I was led to share before we get into the reading. So I hope you listened, and I hope you were able to take something from this and use it practically on your journey, okay? Especially those steps. Identify the trigger. How did that trigger make me feel, and why did that trigger make me feel that way? Okay? But that's important. All right, so we'll get into this reading. Greetings and welcome to Earth Angel Activities, where I will be doing a reading for all the Earth Angels today. So we will go ahead and hop right in. Thank you, Most High God. Thank you, Divine Mother and Father. Thank you for this message. Thank you for the viewer. Thank you for allowing me to be a conduit of your message, of your words, of your comfort for the viewer at this time. Thank you for allowing for new life, new love, new abundance into our lives at this time. And also I'm hearing embrace the shadow. Thank you for allowing us to see our shadow self and embrace our shadow self. Thank you so much for supporting us through triggering circumstances. In your name, we thank you so much for guiding the way. Thank you for our angels, our spirit team. Thank you for love, and thank you for each other. Thank you for this word, so it is. Ashe. Thank you. I was being guided to this deck when I was meditating, and the card that I was seeing was the shadow card. And today, one thing that God kept showing me today was triggers. How we are all triggered, how I am triggered, we're all triggered, how we deal with those triggers. And how it makes a world of difference how we deal with our triggers. The solar plexus. Show me more about this solar plexus, God. Thank you. Thank you for making the message clear. Love abounds in helpless and hopeless. Under the bottom of the deck, we have the Master card, which the Master card is the Tower, usually. With the love abounds in the Master, with the heart being free, and it's saying love abounds, and it serves as the Ace of Cups. This offering, this generous offering of love that is being given to us through opportunity, through divine intervention and divine time. And I'm seeing that for some, that open heart, that flow of love, it is so difficult, and it has caused you to cage your heart away. in order to keep it safe. With the solar plexus, I'm hearing like gusto, and I have this energy of like going forth, starting something, pioneering a path, but in this very optimistic, like resilience of a child sort of energy. And I feel like through life circumstances, there has been letdown after letdown, and that has led to this helpless and hopeless feeling. And I'm hearing, what is it that when you're in this helpless and hopeless feeling, there's no way to nurture yourself. And it's like the mind becomes a playground all of its own. And I'm seeing like a lawnmower running, but nobody is driving it. Yeah, listen. And I'm hearing that song, Listen to Your Heart. So you got the Master and you got the Manifest. And then you've got the Confront card. This card is the card that God was showing me and was telling me to get this deck. So with Listen, Manifest, Comfort, Confront, and Master, these two, the Manifest and Master, the Magician always gives mastery type vibes. And then with the Confront card, which is usually the Moon, the comfort energy is so strong. And this is this person's shadow. This is this person's shadow. And I feel like that it's time for you to comfort yourself, your heart space. And, and this is going to be difficult too. This is going to be difficult. That's why I'm seeing dedicated effort and dreams come true. It's like, if you can get it right, if you can get this energy right, it's going to be beautiful. So our angels, our spirit guides, the Most High really truly wants us to understand our triggers at this time. Because our triggers, a lot of times, like, you can see how people deal with their triggers. Typically, a lot of people who are unhealed, they tend to lash out when they are triggered. They'll say something that throws like a little jab, or they aren't able to take constructive criticism, or whatever the case may be. Some people, when they are triggered, they take it very personally against another person. When honest and true, when we're triggered, that information, that energy that we feel pulse and rush through our body and through our mind and through our face, when we feel that energy, that's for us. It's for you to reflect on. It's for you to reflect on. Especially if you're someone who, for the most part, you're pretty chill. But maybe there are a few things that really trigger you into this. I'm hearing manic. Sometimes certain things or certain situations can trigger you into being like a straight monster. And God is like, I see you. The angels are like, I see you. I feel you. This is something that you must address within yourself. This is something that you need to look at for yourself. Triggers, all triggers are just signs from our self. They're physical signals to our soul, to our consciousness rather, that there is something, there is a wound there, there is There's a break there that needs to be healed, that needs to be addressed. That's what triggers are. That's what they do. And it's like, if you actually took the time out to meditate, and not doing the meditations that are on, YouTube, like with the music and all that, like those are nice. I really like those. But sometimes it really just takes you sitting down with a good cup of tea and really just thinking and sorting out your thoughts and sorting out your feelings. And also, in the heat of your anger, listen to what your soul is telling you, because I promise you, it is giving that your soul, your body, your physical body is trying to grab your attention at this time, because there is something going on where there is like, I'm hearing like a breach in security of your heart space. And that breach took place with these life experiences knocking you down over and over again. But one thing you got to know about being triggered is that when you are triggered, it is for you. 1111 on the camera. When you are triggered, it is for you. And it's not for you to just press down and suppress, but it is for you to observe, like, why am I mad? Why am I really mad? What's really making me mad about this situation? What's really getting to me about this situation? And really sit down with yourself and listen to yourself in a concerning and loving way, the same way that you would want somebody to do if you were speaking to them. This is a very strong message of dealing with triggers. Because triggers are going to happen. You got people out here who are intentionally trying to trigger you, and then you got people out here that love you, that they trigger you all the time, and they're not meaning to do it at all. You got people out here who just trigger you by mistake. Their ignorance, perhaps, could be the factor that causes them to trigger you. And that it's completely innocent. A lot of times when people do stuff, they don't think about the back end of it. But not you, Earth Angel. And sometimes as an Earth Angel, I understand that sometimes you feel as if, why can't the rest of the world get it together? Like, I have my pains. I'm not bleeding all over everybody. So why do these people, or why does this person feel like it's okay for them to bleed all over me? But I'm hearing that if you would search a little bit deeper into why this trigger exists in the first place, you're going to find that I'm seeing like tree roots or plant roots. I'm seeing them grow and branch off and bifurcate several different times in several different ways rapidly. And I'm seeing like that it started from one big thing, like as a child. Because a lot of times what people don't understand about children is that they come programmed to love unconditionally. And as they grow, that childhood, that little young toddler, adolescent stage, that is when trust and true love is being developed. And when a child is truly abused, now this is what I've been shown in the spirit. This is nothing that I've read, so please, forgive me if there's been a study on this and that and that and this, But what I'm being shown in the spirit is that when we are little, that's when the unconditional love and trust factors are solidified. And when abuse comes in when we're young, that it cripples our ability to trust as well as to love unconditionally. And the saddest part about that is that that crippling of the ability to love unconditionally causes us to have an unhealthy relationship with ourselves. You know, so I'm seeing that some of you guys went through a lot, and that is a trigger warning. And I have to put that in the title because sometimes, you know, you don't want to think about that thing, you know, those things that may have harmed you or hurt you mentally, physically, emotionally. But I'm seeing that that is part of your energy that you haven't tapped into. It exists in those spaces of the shadow where you absolutely deal with how to be triggered. You know, for instance, sometimes, you know, it's easy to say like, oh, I can deal with all my triggers in this way. And for the most part, you might be able to deal with most of your triggers by ignoring it or overlooking it or giving that other person grace. Like, right, those are the baselines. But sometimes when something gets in and it taps on a wound in your soul and you feel it, it's undeniable. Even if you can lie to everyone else, you feel it festering inside your being. You know, one of the ways to deal with that is through breath work, it's through breathing. And a lot of times, once you have mastered that art of being able to breathe, you know, you can hear. One of my good friends told me that a respiration is to re-spirit yourself. You know, and so that is connected to the thoughts, you know that. The wounded healer. Yeah, all these things that you have been through since childhood, you know, it's kind of caused you to put on this facade because I feel like some of you guys do not care to be bothered. Like you don't want anybody to like you don't want to feel like you're anybody's charity case. I'm hearing energetically, financially, any way at all. So you always put on this mask that you're good. You might be the one in your friend group or in your family who always keeps it together. You're the one who always gives advice. You're the one that people call when they need someone to talk to with some good sense because you are connected to the divine. You know, but people don't understand that you put that mask on top of your real face, and your real face is the face of a child who has yet to deal with their pain. But the child has never been addressed, so the child could never fully mature. You know, but you do understand love. Because these pains have caused you to understand love inadvertently. These pains that you have been through, it has helped you to create love. To create love, you tap into the divine source, and you are a source of love. You are used as a vessel of love, a vessel of so many gifts of the Spirit. Just because of how I'm hearing the word endurance, how you endured, how you overcame, and how you'll overcome again if another issue comes, because that's what you do. You always get back up. And I'm saying that because of that, God wants to bless you and is blessing you, but it comes through doing this shadow work. It comes through taking the time to listen to yourself. The Three of Swords. You have to sort through your heartbreak. You have to be able to hear and understand what your heart is feeling. And this is the Ace of Swords. It's giving me chills with the crown chakra. It's giving me chills. This is the grief card, by the way. I wanted to illuminate it. But grief, Three of Swords, heartache and loss. And then look, Ace of Swords, that's always the card that reminds me that God is with you. God is here. Your angels are here. You are not forgotten. You are loved. You are important. You have divine energies that are around you right now to assist you mentally, emotionally, energetically, in every way. But it takes you meditating and working through those shadows. Your shadows, okay, so say for instance, we have the Ace of Pentacles here with Love Begins. We have firm foundation. We have material and spiritual prosperity and transformation. I'm sorry, this is the Ace of Cups. You got authority. It's another major arcana. This grief is going to lead you into a space of solitude. And within the confines of the solitude, you hear the voice of God. You learn to hear the voice, the words. You feel God. A very personal relationship develops with God. And through this time of solitude, I'm hearing cocoon, chrysalis, new life. You're transformed. I'm seeing spiritual surgery infused with love infusions. A total healing of your heart and soul and body. I'm seeing health restored. God is like, I need you to be at your best. Your best. I need your best thoughts. I need your best foot forward. I want all of that, and I'm bringing restoration. That's what I'm hearing. Transformation and restoration. But I'm telling you that the door is open, and the way you earn the ticket to get through the door is through meditating. And I'm hearing that you're gonna get mad soon. There's gonna be an opportunity that comes up, and when you do, I'm getting a stop sign, and I'm hearing them say stop, stop, stop. This is your sign. This is your opportunity. Don't do anything. Don't say anything. Don't touch anything. Don't do anything. Just stop and listen. Listen to your heart. Observe yourself as much as possible. Observe the other participants involved. Observe. Take it all in. And then excuse yourself. Thank you for the experience. Excuse me. And then go reflect on it and understand what was the source, what was the root of your fury. And through that process, you're going to find freedom and clarity and elevation. So let's see any last messages that the angels want to bring to you about these triggers. They're like, we understand that it is difficult to deal with triggers. But the triggers are the catalyst to spiritual growth. We call them triggers. They call them catalysts, spiritual tests, whatever. They're needed for Earth School. Twin flame, artistic expression, high priestess. You have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teachings. And I know you're gaining this ability to teach, because nobody goes through all this and is not able to teach at the end of it. Easy does it though. Be gentle with yourself. There's no need to hurry or rush for anything to happen, because everything is occurring in divine time. And at the bottom you have independent. Your independence is the foundation for your strength and success. You're doing it independently, but you are never alone, okay? So I'm also the same energy that has been coming up a lot lately with the twin flame. That is a new love that is coming. That is a big message I've been picking up on. Like I said, I rarely pick up on romantic energies, but it is something that the divine has been guiding me to and through. Look, new love, I'm telling you. It's a new love that I've been picking up on. It's like, it's a real thing. New love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings, like calling in your soulmate. Calling in your soulmate. Like, this is a new love, like, and worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. See, there is a new love that's coming. It's like, yes, you've been through a lot. It's getting a little heavy to carry. Sometimes even if you're in a crowd of people, you feel alone because the mind, the thoughts, they're not making you feel as if a lot of times conversation leaves you feeling as if you're an alien, you're an outcast. But I'm hearing that all that is coming to an end. You're going to meet your energetic equal, and it's going to be blissful. But in order for this relationship to last, in order for this connection to be healthy, it is going to take the shadow work. It is going to take you being able to understand your triggers, what hurts your feelings, what and why. What makes you angry? What do you do with your anger? Do you fight? Do you break things? And is it acceptable in your reflective mind? Did the situation call for it? Did you overreact? Why did you overreact for that situation? Because you know that your soul, it didn't overreact. So where did that energy come from? Why did you have so much energy stored up there in that space for that situation? And really reflect about it so that you can guide yourself to a healing on it, And there's nothing wrong with using a psychologist. Like, a lot of my friends are psychologists. So it is nothing wrong with using a psychologist, talking to a psychologist. A lot of them do like hourly rates. And it's okay to psych hop until you find the right one for you, So anyway, I hope that this message finds you in divine time. And until we talk again, bye.